Joining us now to talk about the future of this fast-growing industry and how likely it is to be regulated, we welcome the man you just saw in that package, former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb. Dr. Gottlieb, thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks.
It occurs to me that you can't regulate a product until you understand what its purpose is. Are vaping products simply a smoking cessation system, or is it just another way to smoke?
Well, probably both. I mean, they could be a product that helps currently addicted adult smokers transition off of combustible tobacco. There are also products that are helping kids and some adults transition on to nicotine. Some of those adults might have gone to smoking and instead of choosing to vape instead, but we know that kids are being initiated on nicotine through e-cigarettes that wouldn't have smoked. We've stigmatized smoking in this country, and so a lot of these kids who are becoming addicted to nicotine through these vaping products wouldn't have turned to cigarettes but for the fact that they now have a nicotine addiction.
And what role does THC, the marijuana derivative, play in all of this? I mean, there's a feeling that the sort of the counterfeit vaping material that has been out there that's maybe causing this lung disease and some of the deaths may involve THC. Does that get complicated since marijuana is not legal federally?
Well, I think we need to be careful to distinguish two problems. One is the crisis of an epidemic of teen vaping of e-cigarettes, and now these acute lung injuries, which seem to be driven by counterfeit products and illegal products that either contain THC or CBD for that matter. And
right.
THC and CBD do fall into a regulatory no man's land. It's not clear who's regulating those vaping products right now. And one of the things that we saw this past summer was the launch of some national brands of vaporizing hardware that was being marketed purposely and deliberately for vaping THC and CBD. So that popularized the usage of those compounds. But those CBD and THC oils that are being vaped in those products, those tend to be a mom and pop business that are being produced under all kinds of different standards, sometimes with what we know now are dangerous oils in them that cause these lung injuries.
Walmart has now stopped selling vaping products. Massachusetts has announced a temporary ban on selling vaping products, in part because of the lung disease and the deaths. Do you find it ironic that they're banning those products when they still sell regular cigarettes?
Well, it certainly is, and I think that a lot of the adults who potentially were using these vaping products might now, some of them who have a nicotine addiction, are going to transition on to combustible tobacco. And while these vaping products are not safe, we do believe they're less harmful than combusting tobacco, lighting a cigarette on fire. Look, I think we need to be very deliberate about the steps that we take, and I think banning the vaping products is probably going to exacerbate the black market for the illegal vaping products if we ban illegal vaping products, and could stretch some of these acute lung injuries that we're seeing if, in fact, many of those injuries are the result of illegal products entering the market.
You know, today with all of the talk about the regulations, the bans, and all that's going on around this industry, one prominent professor of public health policy said that we might be looking at the beginning of the end of the vaping industry, even as Juul is still valued at about $40 billion. What do you say?
Well, look, I think this is an industry in trouble right now, and I think had they acted more responsibly when the issues around the youth epidemic first arose in 2018 when we first got that data, and didn't push back on some of the measures that we were trying to take to restrict kids' access to these products, you wouldn't see so many people jumping on and willing to conflate these acute lung injuries with the legally sold products. Now, it may well be that the legally sold products are causing some of these lung injuries, but it does appear that the majority of the lung injuries are the result of illegal products, THC and CBD products, as well as perhaps some illegal nicotine products. These illegal products tend to have oils in them that are harmful to the lungs. The legally sold products tend to be water soluble. But I think the industry behaved so badly when they were faced with the first crisis that now that they're facing a second crisis, they're garnering very little consideration.
Former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.